Yeah.
That ran for the same seat or that was black. I'm like, well, if they raised 15,000, I want to raise 30. That's what I want to raise. That was how I set my first goal. Well, my opponent, when she came out, my general opponent, she had $160,000.
Yeah, she was not playing no games with you.
Yeah, hey, what? None whatsoever. None whatsoever. But you know what, man? But that's why I tell people one of the best things you got to do. You got to start moving. When you move, things will align for you, even when you you have no idea.
Welcome to another episode of the Brothers Who Talk with Terry and AD. This podcast is about men talking about everyday shenanigans, the stuff that makes us mad, to the topics that concern why in the world do these guys have a podcast. Let's get to it.
And we
back. Yes, indeed.
All right, AD, what's going on with you, man? Let's get it started like we always do. How was your week, my brother?
My week. I need some help. I need some help with my son. He is, I'm a man of many of in-depth patience, and I think he has taken it all. Every bit of it. You're not gonna do that. But it's just to put it in perspective, because kids can do a lot of stuff. It's the school thing. Yeah. It's the school thing, and then him hiding stuff, and it's just
But
it's the ongoing saga of the AJ story. So it's you guys pray for me. But other than that, it's been challenging. My wife has been under the weather for quite some time, so praying for that as well. But it's just been a challenging week.
Yeah.
But in spite of all is well. God is still good, and I'm grateful to have another day. What about you? What's going on in your world, Terry?
I gotta say, before I get into my week, I will tell you this: is that AJ is he's a walking, talking soap opera. I love this guy because he keeps you on your toes, right? And then he's just being a kid, but I love me some AJ. That's my boy. My week has been, of course, it's been it's really stressful. We're getting ready to transition out of one state and into another. So a lot of challenges are ahead of me and my family. But it's been tolerable. Me, I'm getting to the age where I'm 45. I get to the age where now everything bugs me now. It's like, stop it. Noah gets on my nerves. Javante likes to whistle. And
wait, did you say whistle?
Whistle.
What's the deal with that? Oh, go ahead. Son. Dude, okay, go ahead.
Drives me insane, bro. I promise you, he drives me insane. And he does it because he knows that it drives me insane. That's why he does it. He's doing it. He's on the other side of the computer, so he's doing it right now. But just getting ready for the transition by the end of the month, moving into a new state, new home, new job. I mean, God's been good, like you said earlier. God's he's still in control, regardless of how we see things.
Right.
I'm learning to put my faith first, and so I know that this whole thing that we got going on. God had to take the lead, or I would be in a total shamble. Right. So my week it's been challenging like yours. It's been challenging, but God's, like I said, God's still in control, and we're gonna still do it and all that there.
Yes, indeed.
But speaking of being in control, sometimes we ain't in control of a lot of stuff. So this segue right into our tell them why you're mad, bro. So AD, this week.
I'm handing it off to my brother right here.
You're handing off. So I guess I would guess that the man of the half hour.
Yes, indeed.
He is the one that ran for county commission down there in Florida.
Yes.
That's stand your ground state. You know what? Don't get me started on that. But anyway, our guest for this evening, our man of the half hour, Pernell Bush. He's got so many letters behind his name. We should call him Pernell Alphabet, but we're not going to do that. So Pernell, what's going on with you, man? before you even get started, tell us why you mad, brother.
Why am I mad? Oh man, you know what? That's a great question, that Terry. To be honest, man, you know, people. I don't believe in false positivity, but I'm always the type of person that's looking at the bright side of things.
Right.
But I can tell you this. I can tell you why I'm bothered. How about that?
All right.
I'm extremely bothered by, you know, what's been taking place in our country when it comes to this COVID-19 and the vaccine. You know, I have seen plenty of different conversations taking place on different platforms, from social media, from in person to the news, about the reliability and the validity of this vaccine that they're ready to give us as citizens of this country.
Right.
And you know, for me, I'm bothered by that because, you know, for us as a people, we have seen this type of experimentation happen before.
Yes.
And I'm one of the ones. For me, I was telling you earlier, Terry, I need to see at least a 3 to 5 year trial.
At least, man.
You know, I'll tell one of my partners, I say, man, this you know, it may sound foolish when I say this, but I say, man, let me just get the COVID, let my body fight it off, so I can get the immunity. You know what I mean?
Let me go ahead and get it. I'm scared. I'm gonna be rude with you guys.
Our bodies are very magnificent. We give them an opportunity. It's just my personal opinion. I'm not telling anyone to do that. Do it.
Yeah, I heard him. He said anybody. He's not telling anyone else to do it.
For me, personally.
Yes.
I am.
I'm not telling anyone else to do that. I'm just saying, I just want to have to catch you and see if I'm about to fight it off. That's it, man. But that's what bothers me, man. That's bothering me at this very moment, because I know right now, you know, with information in our country, man, people don't know what to believe, who to trust, and that within itself causes anxiety, man. Me being a mental health therapist and just seeing how this can be disruptive in people's life, because people don't know which way to go. This is causing rift in families and communities. You know, so this is something that we truly must get a handle on at this very moment. It's something that's truly dividing our country. You know, it's more than what 45 did himself. This is like now it's adding gas to the flames. You know what I mean?
Right.
Total gas.
That's my main concern. Just I want us to, as a country, to get on one accord and respect that. And we even can't get on one accord. Respect the decisions of those around you. That's all it comes down to. You may not agree. I may not like it. But as long as it's not impinging upon my freedom, my personal space or whatever, by all means, do what you need to do.
Hey man, I smell what you're cooking, bro. I promise you. AD, you wanna chime in now? Tell them why you
on that. The vaccine, that's kind of it's a yay, no. It depends on the day. You look like, no, you know, because you know, like I'm gonna keep it real, and like my brother Purnell said, these are my opinions. Please don't follow this. I'm not a medical professional. It's just my personal.
Put disclaimers out there. I don't even want to try to file a lawsuit against us, fellas.
Right. I don't do the flu vaccine. I don't do the flu vaccine. I've done it maybe once or twice in my lifetime, and it's not been good. So I stopped messing with it. And honestly, like I think about COVID, I've never, as far as I remember, ever had the flu. You know, so I've never had that issue. You know, no one in my household, you know, has had to deal with it. And that doesn't mean COVID won't come. But so as far as this vaccine, like I'm kind of like you, Purnell. I mean, the only thing I've heard, I know people close to me that have had it. And the symptom is the reason. The symptoms is like the taste in your mouth, you know, the trouble breathing. It's like, you know, and no vaccine's 100%. You know, then there's the side effects of the vaccines that you just like, am I gonna just deal with this?
You know, I thought about the movie, Will Smith movie, I Am Legend. And I became them daywalkers because they took the vaccine. The vaccine caused the people to become that.
Oh man, thanks.
You know, so
it was crazy.
Like, hey, you know, that's my blood.
And what's crazy about that is that that's what's crazy about that. There's a bunch of memes with I Am Legend, and it's Will Smith and the dog, and then people are like, "That's gonna be me and my dog." I'll take all the vaccines, so it's crazy. But what's made me mad this week? There's a lot of things that has made me mad this week. The insanity and the level of crazy Donald Trump lives on is one of the things that's made me mad. This dude's talking about now.
He's a classic narcissist, bro. Like, and I hate using that term.
That's what it is. I mean, classic. Now, here's my thing. Now, on inauguration day, the transfer of power from the previous president to the incoming president is that he comes to the inauguration, and they do all this stuff, and they at when they're at the White House, they shake hands and they wave. They leave the White House, they jump on Marine One, and they go. Right. This dude has said he's not even gonna come to the inauguration. Like,
wow,
he actually said it. Eddie, are you on? Yes.
Wow.
He's having a 2024 rally on inauguration day.
I gotta really I didn't even know this. I mean, I figured he wouldn't come.
He's gonna skip the inauguration altogether. No transfer of power. So I'm assuming he's gonna do a midnight move out of the White House. And people who listening, on the podcast, if you ain't never been broke and never had to move out in the middle of the night, you know what I'm talking about. But
got the garbage bags. I'm out.
Telling you, in duffel bags and everything, just shove it in the back of a U-Haul.
Gather what you can. That's it.
But I don't understand this. I mean, what's really made me mad this whole process is that this man has single-handedly tried to destroy the democracy of this country. This country was built on democracy and doing certain things and certain protocols being in place. And he has just said, screw all of that. I'm the Don. You're gonna do what I tell you, and that's gonna be the end of it.
Right. Has it been single-handedly? Because at the end of the day, he does it because he has those that get behind him. You know what I mean? So ultimately, a narcissist get their power from admirers. So there's individuals that could possibly step up, say something to it, but they're not. I tell you one thing I appreciate Donald Trump for. Donald Trump has showed us anything, to me, what I have took majorly from Donald Trump is just get out and do it. Just go out and do what you want to do. Don't let anyone stop you. You know what I mean? Right. Might be seem wild to you, might seem wild to everybody else.
Right.
We think about when Donald Trump was just, thinking about running for president, people were cracking jokes. He ain't gonna run for president. He ain't gonna win.
Right.
I said, at the end of the day, Donald Trump has shown me, hey, listen, I'm not gonna tell myself no. Y'all gonna have to tell me no. Yeah. That's one thing I feel from Donald Trump.
You know what I mean? Right. Donald Trump is the walking epitome of, if I apply for this job and was surprised when I got it was a person. That'd be Donald Trump. The whole
I'm gonna apply still. I'm gonna apply for this job.
Yeah. I mean, but I just wish that he wouldn't have damaged. The thing with Don, even though he has, he has millions and millions of followers. I was like millions upon millions. The way he got that
millions.
That's a terrible impression, by the way. But nonetheless, he's got all these followers and all these supporters and everything. But he has damaged his legacy. Even we were talking this morning about legacy. When he goes back, come on. I mean, because he's going to go down as probably one of the worst presidents in American history.
Listen, but he became a president. He wasn't supposed to be a president. And
okay,
so
he became a president.
His legacy because he had people joking.
Okay. But his legacy is going to be that he put damage on the democracy. That's going to be his legacy. Like, if you had not done that, you had a different outcome.
I mean, we're in 2020, man. A lot of time right now, most people get popular. They get more well known for doing the wrong thing.
Yes,
it don't look good. It might not look good in records on paper, but watch how, because of what he's done, how popular he becomes, how much more people. This is almost like a cult mentality when it comes to this guy, bro.
Yeah.
Go ahead, AD.
No, I was thinking about, I don't know who said it, either on the show, said when they do the Donald Trump movie like 10, 20 years from now, and my kids get to see it, and they, other grandkids get to see it, they're going to turn to me and say, did that really happen?
Yeah.
Did he really say that?
He really said
did he really call Mexicans that? Yeah.
But like Pernell said, I mean, when we talking about single-handed, he wasn't single-handed. I mean, you got Donald Trump, you got Kayleigh McEnany, you have Rudy Giuliani, who recently just tested positive for COVID.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's healed though. He took the cocktail. He's good now.
Is he now? He's
he was rolling through the streets, waving his hand like we're good with a mask on. We're good.
You know what? But that's what made me mad. So we're gonna get into the crux of our podcast today with our guest and Mansley Half Hour Pernell. So AD, I'm gonna give you the flow and you go from here, brother.
All right. So we got our guest Pernell Bush, who ran for office, and as well as he is I made sure I write it down, a clinical social therapist or a psychotherapist, which is the term everybody will more understand. And today I kind of want to talk about, as we talk about politics, what was it like running? What was the process like? What was the fundraising like? As well as the mental stress of going through the process. And Pernell, kind of like Donald Trump, kind of jumped out. He didn't ask nobody's opinion. He just knew something needed to be done, and he jumped out there and did it. So pretty much the first question I want to ask, which is probably the obvious and easiest, what caused you or what pushed you to run? And then I also want you to talk about the racial makeup of where you live and things of that nature.
Oh man, so I can tell you like this, man. What made me run is that I got word back from community members. So just to give you the story, a few of our community members went to our county commissioner who represents our area and, told them some of the issues that's going on in the community, what assistance they need. And this county commissioner responded to them in a way that I just didn't appreciate.
Gotcha.
And the word that rung out to me, that stayed with me, that kept going over my head was, she like, you all don't have the wherewithal. So when you say the word wherewithal, that can mean many things. To me, it can mean that you don't have the intelligence, you don't have the resources, you don't have the capabilities. So all I'm hearing is that this individual who's supposed to be representing us, and tell them, hey, look, we pay our tax dollars, and we need the county step in and help us refix our roads and fix our sewage lines and all this stuff. And you're telling, well, you don't have the wherewithal. And so to me, it felt like you're not trying to hear us. You don't care about us. So that was really what solidified to me in that moment that I'm gonna run.
Right.
After that moment, after hearing that, after having community members telling me that. So, the racial makeup. So here in Seminole County, man, in our 107-year history in Seminole County, there has never been a Black county level representative. Never.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So 107 years. So, in each city, each county, the government is made up differently. So here in Seminole County, we have what we call a weak mayor government. Okay. So our county commissioners are our highest form of government.
Wow.
So I ran for the right. I went straight to the top. Yeah, it's our highest form of government. That's those are individuals that are over our $840 million budget for the county. Those are individuals that are over fiscal allocations of where the funds are going, how they get spent, and those individuals that are creating the ordinances and laws that we govern by here in this county.
Right.
So I feel as if there was no representation for minorities whatsoever.
Right.
Ever. So that was another reason that made me run.
Right.
Man, to be honest, and then AD, I want to make sure I'm not talking over your question, so I want to make sure I answer your question real clearly before we move on to the next.
You good?
Yeah.
Okay. So you decide to run.
Yes.
You realize your reason, and makes a lot of sense because I would feel the same way. Like I'm tired of looking at just me in this building, and there's more of us that needs to be represented, and someone needs to stand up and represent us. So I appreciate your push for that, especially with that history. 107 years is like, I don't know if I could do this. you know. Did you know the history before you started running?
Yeah. I knew this before I started running. You know what I mean? I'm an avid researcher, man.
Okay.
So before I ran, you know, I definitely did my research. I wanted to understand the lay of the lands. I want to understand, you know, what was the history of our county. Also, those who had ran before me, because although I have made it further than any Black person have ever made in this race, there have been others that ran before me, and I want to see what their roadblocks were. So man, I went back and you know, like I said, when it comes to your financial contributions that you get during your campaign trail, you have to keep record of that. So I went all the way back to 2012 as first back that they keep the records back to look at everyone that had ran for office before and at every level. And I want to see what their finances look like, where they were spending their money, where their money was coming from. Because that's the major thing when you get ready to do anything is the financial portion. And what that did for me was made me understand, this person may have raised $250,000, but they spending $30,000 a month on consultants. So I'm like, I don't really I don't need to raise that type of money. So I told our team, we just need to raise enough money to run a healthy campaign. My word was always healthy campaign. Because healthy can look how you need it to look. You know, so I want to be a healthy campaign. This is how it can be a healthy campaign for us. You know, I want us to be able to hit this many doors, send out this many mailers, put out this many signs. So that's healthy for us. It may not be healthy for somebody else's campaign, but it was a healthy campaign for us. In effect.
So we talked previous, and you were running on a Democratic ticket, and you ran against someone else. And what was what was that like? So you jumped in that part you had to do by yourself because you couldn't get the party behind you until you.
So the primary, man.
Yes.
So I filed to run November of 2019. So I filed then. So at that time it was three. Yeah, but I want to say three other Democrats that were already that was registered. Now it was two other ones it was one at that time who was registered. And then another two filed after me. So ultimately two of them ended up dropping out. So I had a primary against one other Democrat. So man, you know, people always like, why you became a Democrat? Why you Democrat? Y'all say, man, when I was 16, 17 registering to vote, I'm gonna say we Democrat. I ain't have to vote.
Right. That's what we are. I didn't
know the difference at that time in life. Democrat, Republican, Libertarian, non-party. I say, but I understand the issues that I care about. You know, so I'm more of an issues-based person than I am a party person. You know, and I think that's something that we need to get back to in the country as a whole. Like, what are the issues that we're trying to solve and resolve here? Instead of trying to get so fixated on this red and blue, you know, Crips and Bloods. That's all it is now. You know, the red Republicans, blue Democrats, Crips and Bloods now. So but the primary was interesting, man. You know, so like I say, the party can't get behind you. You know, they can't help either. If you're both your person, you're running within this. You're running to be the primary person in the general. So I had a gentleman who had ran for office before. He had, matter of fact, had been a state senator. A state representative before. He was an attorney, you know, so he had a good reputation and name behind him. And he had good experience behind him. So likewise for me, though, you know, although I never ran for office before, this is my first time. You know, those who know me know I have been putting in work in the community for a long time. You know, I may not be a lawyer, but I'm a mental health therapist. You know, so our credentials could possibly line up. The biggest difference is that he was older than me, older white gentleman. I'm a young Black man. That's it. Those the biggest discrepancy if you ask me personally. So I ended up winning the primary in a landslide. I got 76% of the votes.
Gotcha.
So it was definitely a landslide, and that was historic. There's no Black person had ever made it out of the primary.
Nice.
So
That's good, man.
it was definitely historic. It got a lot of people excited, but it taught me something. I'm gonna tell you what it taught me.
Okay.
I had so many people that voted for me in the primary, and they thought that was it. They didn't understand the general. Because I had people like, "Oh, I already voted for you." I'm like, "No, you gotta go vote again." So what it showed me is that we need a lot of voter education, demographics and social economic backgrounds, education level. Like, there's a lot of education that needs to take place. I had people like, "Oh man, I already voted for you. I hope you did it. Oh, you won." I'm like, "No, I won the primary. I still got to win the general."
First step.
There's another step, man.
Keep that same energy.
Real big.
Keep the same energy. So I realized I had to change the terminology. So I had to start talking like, hey, I want round one. That was just round one of the fight.
Right.
So a lot of people, they can understand that. Like, okay, we still got another round.
They think it's a Mike Tyson fight when you say that.
Right. That's good. That's good.
I had to switch up the verbiage and how you code switch and how you treat the different demographics to get them have a greater understanding. Like, hey, look, we still got a long way to go.
Right.
But I know you had questions about the fundraising portion.
Yes.
Hey, I want to make sure I answer that for you guys because I know and I believe a lot of people don't run for office because of fundraising.
Right.
It's intimidating.
It is.
Even for me to file to run, I had to pay $5,334.10.
What a 10 cent though? What? Who that helping? You know,
they said these. It's a state level way how they come up with these price lines, man.
Right.
But so think about the average person that's coming from a low income background. Right. You know what I mean? That's trying to pull themselves up, or I don't believe in pulling yourself by the bootstraps. My God, that said they never give us the damn boots, as he like said. So use what we got. We country out here. We're gonna be out here barefoot making it happen with the resources we have.
Right.
But so it can be intimidating to want to run for office. And you look at like, man, in order for me just to put my name on the paper, I got to pay $5,000. I got to get pay $5,000 or get 3,000 something signatures.
Okay. Yeah.
That can be daunting as well. Because that was the route I was taking. I said, well, I ain't gonna pay this $5,000. I'm gonna go get these signatures. Man.
Okay, so I've heard that before. So you got a choice. You got signatures or payment.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So go ahead.
Signature 1,000. I said, you know what, man? We can be putting better use of our time right now. Let's just go ahead. I'm gonna get on the phones one day, and I decided. I said, I'm gonna dedicate a full Saturday. I'm gonna dedicate a full 12 hours on this Saturday. I'm gonna be calling everybody in my call log, get people on my social media, and I started phone banking. Yeah, to raise those funds. That was the most awkward but best way to raise money. Yeah. Especially when people talk to me like, hey, what's happening with your dog? Hey, I'm running for office. Do you mind donating to the campaign?
Right.
That's a lot better. I promise you, it's a lot better than coming to me and asking for my signature. You ain't finna get that.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, and that's all. Hey, Terry, that's so real. It was so real, especially when I was in the black communities. Like when I went to primarily the white communities, they ain't mind giving the signature. Sure, sign. But I went to the black communities, what I'm signing for? What is going on?
I got listen, dude. I got 2,000 more signatures to go. I can't sit here and talk to you about this signature.
Right.
So when I realized, I said, man, you know what? I'm just gonna pay the funds. Okay, it was easy. It was if you got it, man. Like I say, raising that money is the hard part, man. So technically, by the end of my campaign, man, I think I raised in my personal campaign, we raised $30,000.
Nice.
And 30,000, man. And tell me that's not a lot, but it was good for where we were, and and I looked at past people that ran for this position as a Democrat and that were black. So how I set my first goal, I just want to outraise everybody that did it before me.
Yeah.
That ran for the same seat or that was black. I'm like, well, if they raised 15,000, I want to raise 30. That's what I want to raise. That was how I set my first goal. Well, my opponent, when she came out, my general opponent, she had $160,000. Yeah.
Not playing no games with you.
Yeah. Hey, what? None whatsoever. None whatsoever. But you know what, man? But that's why I tell people, one of the best things you got to do, you got to start moving. When you move, things will align for you, even when you you have no idea. So I'm out here, I'm moving, I'm shaking, I'm running a healthy campaign. I'm doing everything that we can, and then out of nowhere, we get a $50,000 donation to our PAC.
Nice.
Because this gentleman and his wife was watching us, and they're like, we believe in you, and so I got on a phone call with him first, and I'm like, hey, we need 10,000. He wrote a check for 10,000. Then he like, you know what? He ripped it up. We actually like you. We think we're gonna give you one for 50. So I'm like, I had no words. Like, no words.
Let's do it, player. I'm with you.
That's another thing I had to learn. So in your personal campaign, like so, it's like Pernell Bush campaign. Most anybody can give to you is $1,000.
Right.
That's the max.
Wow.
But so I was like, man, what are these political action committees? So you can form your own political action committee. And
oh man, you can form your own. Can you?
Yeah.
Can.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it had to be separate. But go ahead. I know we're running close to time.
They are separate, but it's still you can form it. So I formed a political committee. So here it's called political committee at the county level.
Okay.
State level political action committee. But I formed a political committee called Friends of Pernell Bush. So that allows people to donate without a cap.
Right.
So we were getting a $50,000 donation like the last month and a half of our campaign, bro, which was like necessary because the most expensive thing on a campaign are mailers, trying to send mail to people's homes.
Oh wow!
Right.
And when I say that's expensive,
right.
I was like, wow. It taught me a lot, man. So I gotta tell people, man, one of the greatest things I say, it showed me the different relationships and how different relationships are important. Politics make strange bedfellows, as they say. So even people that you probably will never talk with on a regular everyday basis, you start forming a relationship with.
Right.
All right. So we are close on time.
Yes.
There's gonna be a part 2. Definitely.
Mr. Baked Beans is gonna take off and leave us.
Oh, Mr. Big. but so when we come back, what I want to talk about and dig into. So when you get part of the Democratic Party, so all the money raising with the $50,000 check, were you in the Democratic Party?
No, that goes to our campaign. It's like the primary. So I went to our campaign for both the primary and the general.
Okay.
So between the primary and general, that's how much money we raised. So we raised a total of $85,000 total between the primary and the general. So that's a whole year and a half just campaigning. Like I said, my opponent, I think she raised $180,000. Other Republicans raising $200,000.
Right.
So that's on the Democrat side out here in Seminole County.
Right.
We don't raise a lot of money, man. Because this is a primary Republican county. Well, we're almost balancing even now, but
right. That's deep. Now, did you get any money from the Democrat, like the national level, or they just did they fund anything?
They only funded like the people that was running for state level seats. They didn't fund any local level seats.
Okay.
So that was cool though. At the end of the day, I wasn't expecting anyone to give me anything, to be honest. Like I said, I didn't have any really affiliation with the party itself.
Right.
So I announced that I was running. They did their vetting process.
Right. Okay.
So I wasn't expecting anyone to come help. I'm a bona fide hustler, United States Marine. I'm gonna get it from the muscle. You know what I mean? So so I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna be 10 toes down. When I commit to something, I'm gonna give it all I got. So that's just who I am. But we were just fortunate that we were able to get the assistance that we did get. And I said, and it worked. The local party was very helpful. They will definitely reach out from time to time, see what they can do. They'll put together certain events to make sure candidates can show up at. We had different events that we were putting on. They would share our events. So they were beneficial, man. But no Democrat here in Seminole County won this past November. It's the only Democrat that won here in Seminole County was Joe Biden.
Right.
That's it.
Wow.
The only one, man.
You mean Joe Carey, Seminole County?
Joe is the first president in 30 years to win Seminole County. The first Democratic president to win Seminole County.
They ain't like Trump. They ain't like Trump. That's what that was.
What that probably told me, man, is that there was enough Republicans who were tired of Trump that voted Democrat.
Right.
National level. But when they came back to local, we Republican set down the ticket from there. But they were able enough to jump over for Joe Biden when it came to the national level.
Wow.
It's crazy. Well, we're gonna do part 2 next week, right?
And
whenever he can.
I'm down for it.
All right, cool. So we'll get him.
Oh, actually, you know what? Next week will work because I had somebody and they canceled on me. So yes, that will definitely work for next week. So we're gonna have him on next week. So what I want to dig into is the moving forward, and the things you learn. And are we running next time? Don't answer that. All right. So, It's a cliffhanger. So we appreciate you putting out for your time and all that you do and putting in the work, because we love the fact that you're actually in the community pushing it. And it's funny that we want to encourage others to get in it. I know it's that 5,000, especially looking at you.
I'll tell you that was one of my main things. I say, you know what, man, win, lose, or draw. What I hope that I've done was encourage other individuals to get out of that as well. Because you know, my history and my track record to where I am today. You know, if people look back on my history, you will probably never see me run for office. You know, being from a young man, I was going in and out of incarceration, then went to serve the military as a United States Marine, and then coming home, going to school to get my master's and bachelor's and stuff in clinical social work, and now I have a mental health private practice, then running for office. It's like people would probably have never put these things together. And what I hope is that I have encouraged somebody else who may not feel like they got the ideal background to, you know, say, you know what, man, I can take a stand and run and what I want to do is uphold and uplift my community.
Nice. All right, brother. Appreciate your time, man. Appreciate you showing up. We definitely look forward to talking to you next week if you got the time open. And we appreciate you as well. So this has been another edition of the Brothers Who Talk. Yep. Terry, did you want to share something before we bounce out of here?
I share my candy if I had some. You guys have a great rest of the week. And you guys will, hey, if you have Alexa at your house, listen, all you got to do is hit Alexa, hey, the Brothers Who Talk podcast, man, you'll be able to check us out on your Alexa, cleaning your house.
Hold on, one more thing. I almost forgot. We're talking about voting. We're talking about the election. Listen, my people in Georgia, early voting starts Monday. You should already be registered. Early voting starts Monday, this Monday.
You
so
guys just
get in on it. Yes, this run of John Ossoff and Raphael Warnock. Yes, to Senate, gotta vote. That
lawful chick ain't running no more.
You said who?
That lawful chick? What's that?
Yeah, Laughlin. Warnock against Laughlin.
She's scary. Yep. I saw her on the.
She got the serious face.
She robot. But you know what? I didn't know her husband owned the New York Stock Exchange. I didn't know that.
A piece of it. Nice. No.
No,
he owns.
He is the man. He's the CEO.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's scary. Definitely go for Warnock.
All right, we gotta get him. All right. Next week. Love y'all.
Later.
Thank you for watching and listening to the Brothers Who Talk. Brothers Who Talk with Terry and AD. Check us out again next week, where we bring you a steaming helping of common sense, laughs, and advice. We can be found on any podcasting platform, iTunes, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. We're also on milehighradio.com, Saturdays at 12 Eastern. See you there.